Welcome to the mirage of the American dream. For over a century, this phrase has represented the ultimate promise of American life. Work hard, play by the rules, and you'll achieve prosperity, security, and a home to call your own. It's the white picket fence, the two-car garage, the backyard barbecue with kids running around. It's the tangible proof that upward mobility is real and within reach for anyone willing to grind. But what if that promise has become little more than a carefully marketed illusion? A mirage that draws people in with hope, only to leave them deeper in debt, farther from true ownership, and watching generational wealth slip away. In 2026, as housing costs soar and wages stagnate for most, the cracks in the dream are impossible to ignore. Today, we're going to peel back the layers. How government policies and banking systems reframed home ownership as a perpetual debt engine. How taxes ensure no one ever truly owns their home outright. And how wealth is shifting into the hands of banks, corporations, and the state. This isn't conspiracy. It's the mechanics of a system that rapaciously profits from aspiration. Let's dive in. The phrase American Dream first appeared in print in 1931 in historian James Truslow Adams' book, The Epic of America. He described it not as material riches, but as that dream of a land in which life should be better, richer, and fuller for everyone. After the Great Depression and World War II, the dream took on a very concrete shape: homeownership. The government stepped in aggressively. The GI Bill helped millions of veterans buy homes with low or even no down payments. The Federal Housing Administration insured loans, making banks willing to lend to ordinary families. Suburbs exploded. Levittown homes, developed by Levitt & Sons, sold for under $10,000 in the 1950s, equivalent to about $100,000 today. It felt attainable. By the 1960s and 70s, homeownership became synonymous with middle-class success. Equity built over time. The plan was simple: save for a down payment, get a 30-year mortgage, pay it off, and retire with an asset worth far more. This system relied almost entirely on long-term debt. What could possibly go wrong? Let's get to the core mechanism: fractional reserve banking and mortgage creation. This is where the shift happened. When a bank approves your mortgage, it doesn't pull that money from a shelf in the vault anymore. It creates it as a new deposit in the seller's account. New money created out of thin air. The new money enters circulation, backed by your promise to repay with interest. The bank holds the loan as an asset on their books and profits massively. In a standard 30-year mortgage, the first decade of payments are overwhelmingly interest, often 80 to 90% early on. You're building almost no equity while the bank extracts wealth. Meanwhile, when you repay the principal, that money is effectively destroyed. But the interest was never created in the initial loan, so the economy needs constant new borrowing just to service existing debts. This creates a built-in need for perpetual growth and more loans. Refinance, home equity lines, each one starts the profit cycle again. Government played along. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac bought loans from banks, freeing capital for more lending. The mantra, "everyone a homeowner," became policy, resulting in the relaxed standards that led to the subprime boom. The mirage was at its peak. When it crashed in 2008, millions lost homes, yet banks were bailed out and the cycle continued. The perpetual debt engine did not falter, it just shifted gears. Fast forward to 2026. Mortgage debt now exceeds $12 trillion. The scale of extraction has reached unprecedented levels. Corporations now buy up a third of single-family homes in many areas. Institutional owners control huge swaths of key neighborhoods. Middle-class buyers get outbid. Families end up renting from corporations that use the same debt tools to scale. The dream sold as build equity has morphed into pay rent to Wall Street for many. This cornerstone of the middle class is now a revenue stream for corporations. Even after decades of payments, true ownership remains elusive because of taxes. Property taxes function like ongoing rent. Missed payments and liens or tax sales follow, regardless of your mortgage status. It's a perpetual payment to the state. In high-tax states, reassessments after value spikes can add thousands yearly. For fixed-income retirees, this is often a breaking point. This forces sales or more borrowing just to stay in the home. Ownership is now more like a long-term lease with high fees. Inheritance and estate taxes add another barrier. Even when you pass it on, the state takes its cut. It's the final extraction. State inheritance taxes can bite hard on middle-class homes. Heirs inherit the property but face immediate massive tax bills. Surveys show 40 to 42% of young heirs sell inherited homes simply because they can't afford the taxes and maintenance. Tax defaults result in massive generational land loss. It's a quiet crisis. These taxes compound the debt trap. Unaffordable payments lead to refinancing or forced sales to institutional investors. Ownership becomes illusory, more like a long-term lease where you take all the risk while others take the profit. Zoom out to the decades. The system extracts assets from the middle class toward concentrated hands. It's a massive wealth transfer. Post-2008 foreclosures flooded the market. Government-backed sales enabled institutional buyers to scoop up properties cheaply. Corporate and investor ownership has grown dramatically, from negligible pre-2008 to hundreds of thousands of homes today. Institutional buyers aren't just participants. They are now the market makers. In the USA, home ownership rates hover around 65%, down from peaks, while affordability hits historic lows. The gap is widening. Median families now need incomes far above average just to qualify for a basic home. The barrier to entry is higher than ever. Wealth inequality continues to widen. The top 10% are capturing most of the gains from appreciating assets. The state facilitates this through investor-friendly policies, tax structures, and bailouts. It's a partnership in wealth extraction. Real estate, the primary middle-class wealth vehicle, is drifting toward banks, corporations, and government influence. Add student debt, healthcare costs, and stagnant real wages. The full dream package now requires millions in lifetime earnings. It's a total that most will never achieve. This is the culmination of the Mirage. It's time to redefine success. So is the American dream dead? Not entirely, but it's deeply wounded and needs a complete redefinition for the modern age. Some argue for shifting focus, from debt-laden ownership to true financial freedom. Cooperative models and decentralized systems are emerging as alternatives to the centralized banking debt trap. Progressive tax relief for middle-class homeowners would ease the extraction and allow families to build real, lasting equity. Unfortunately, the system was never designed for broad, sustainable prosperity. It was built to extract and concentrate. Knowing this is the first step toward building something better and truly sovereign. What do you think? Has attaining the American dream felt like a mirage in your life? Understanding financial sovereignty is the key to escaping the perpetual debt engine and building true wealth. Keep building whatever version of prosperity makes sense for you. Question the promises. Don't settle for the mirage. Prosperity is waiting for those who understand the game. If this resonated, like, share, and subscribe for more deep breakdowns of how the systems of our world really work. Until next time, stay curious, stay sovereign, and keep questioning. The dream is what you make of it.